Hey guys, welcome to another art video. Today I'm going to be doing the 500 Drawing Prompts Book Art Challenge. The very first prompt in the book is Waterfall, so that's what I'll be doing today. For this one, I actually started to sketch out digitally because I love my undo button and my Cintiq and I was a bum. So we did that first just for ease of sketching. I have a tendency to erase a lot when I sketch traditionally. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so I decided it was better to just do this one digitally. Sometimes I sketch directly on my watercolor paper, but I kind of switch between the two, just depending upon how confident I guess I feel that day. But yeah, I'm very hard-handed, so when I erase, I will erase an entire hole on my paper. So I just didn't want to do that today. For my very first prompt, I wanted it to be all pretty and perfect and Christian my book with a beautiful painting. So for this one, for some reason, when I just saw Waterfall, I thought Lapras. I didn't question it. I just went with it, just taking full inspiration from the prompt. I did feel a little bit bad though, because I feel like, I don't know, I guess I felt like for this one, the focus was too much on the Lapras and not necessarily Waterfall. But I mean, like I said, I got the book so that I would be more inspired, and it would help me draw and paint more and get out of my comfort zone. Because I just felt like lately I was just feeling really uninspired and I just didn't know what I wanted to paint. So I saw a couple of other YouTubers by the name of Kasey and I think Holly Hart's art doing this prompt book. And when I saw their videos, I was just like, oh my gosh, I should do this. I think it would really help me, get back into my art and find, my enthusiasm again. And so far it's really helped me. I'm very proud that I, actually did a full watercolor painting. I don't do that often, honestly, you guys. So it's been a long time. Much less a background. I actually have not ever, I'm not gonna say ever, but it's been a good year or two since I've done a background traditionally. Now my digital art, I do backgrounds because it's a little bit easier. You can kind of hit undo and you can kind of figure it out. I don't have a lot of practice with backgrounds, so I'm kind of intimidated by them. So when you do stuff traditionally, you don't have as much I guess freedom to undo your mistakes and stuff traditional. Once it's on the paper, that's kind of it. So I've been very scared and shy to do traditional backgrounds, but like I said, the prompt was Waterfall and I really wanted to do these, well, I guess this one traditionally, so I kind of didn't have a choice, which is what I wanted to happen. I wanted these books to challenge me, to inspire me, so I'm very happy that it got me to do this. And it actually did not turn out that bad in the end. You'll see at the end, but you have to watch the entire video to see. But let's see. So far I've inked it using my Micron pen. I've laid down some flat color. You will have seen earlier that when I was laying down the blue on the Lapras, I kind of quickly added some purple in there just to have like a nice little gradient before it dried. I love doing that with watercolors. Why it's one of my favorite mediums. You can really get some nice pretty gradients in there when you do that. I think one thing I would like to improve on with watercolor though, I feel like I guess that I don't want to say that's not as clean because that's kind of intentional. I kind of like that messy kind of look with my watercolors, but I guess sometimes I do want a cleaner look, and I feel like for this one I did want it to look a little bit cleaner than what it turned out. But I mean, it is what it is. I was actually really happy with the end result, so it's not that huge of a deal. But let's see, here I'm laying down the here I'm laying down the colors for the water. And again, like I said, like I did before with the Lapras, I'm adding some like little extra gradients in there while it's still wet, so it'll all kind of blend together and look really, really pretty. I know I said before that you can't really undo a whole lot of mistakes traditionally. That's somewhat true. You will have seen me dabbing at when I laid down too much of that blue water there. I kind of took a paper towel and kind of dabbed it away. You can kind of quote unquote erase watercolor that way if you get it while it's still wet, but it doesn't always work 100%. But that is one little trick you can do if you're using watercolor and you decide you need to erase. You can do that. And here I'm coloring in the eyes, my very favorite part of all my paintings. I love making the eyes very pretty and just putting lots of detail in them. This is actually pretty undetailed for my usual. I usually do a lot more detail in my eyes, but I still had a lot of fun doing the eyes for Lapras. I was tempted to give the Lapras some colored eyes, but I think looking at the... Wait, does Lapras in the anime have brown eyes? I think they do. I don't know. That was the reason why I did brown eyes as opposed to I think I was tempted for this one to do purple or something. I went with brown. There was a reason I went with brown. I don't know. What am I talking about? Who cares? There's her eyes. Anyway, so here I'm just doing some shading with a light purple. I felt like that complemented the piece a little bit. So I'm just going in there and adding my little highlights a little bit. See, I guess right there you can kind of see where the shadow kind of smudges a little bit with the spots. That's kind of what I'm talking about, how I wish I was a little bit neater with my watercolors, but at the same time I kind of like that, you know, fun, free-flowing, you know, not really caring, just letting the watercolor do its thing, you know, of it too. So I think my problem is that I'm kind of impatient, because with watercolors you have to have a little bit of patience to let it dry between layers and everything. And I'm not always patient enough. I'm a very want to get it done kind of person, so I think that is my downfall and something I have to work on in the future. So that's why on her neck it smudged a little bit, but oh well, it's fine. Let's see, here I'm doing the waterfall. This was the biggest challenge of this painting for me, was just this waterfall, even more so than the water. I mean, it's one thing to, it's hard enough to make water, effects of water digitally or at all. So to do it with watercolor when I've never done it before, it was a pretty intimidating task, but like I said, I'm still very proud of myself for tackling this and giving it a go. And it did not turn out that bad in the end. So here I'm laying down the blue, and I remember at this part I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I hope this turns out okay. I was just kind of laying down the blue and praying. And at this stage, I don't think I was too worried about it. It was when I started adding the white highlights of the waterfall, which I wasn't sure how to even tackle that, honestly. I was looking at references and trying to figure out how I wanted to do it. And at this point, I was kind of like, ooh, not so sure about this. But the more I kept working at it, I kind of cut out a lot of this, but I kind of went and added some shadows in the waterfall. You can kind of see some gray streaks in there. I was trying to get the rocks to show through again, because I felt like I covered them up too much, but I think I fixed it, and I think it kind of reads pretty well as a waterfall, especially when I started adding the greenery like I'm doing right now. I think it really brought it together. So once the background little greenery details were finished, I actually had to go in and redo a little bit of the outline, line art a little bit, because obviously it got covered up with some paint, and it really helped Lapras to pop out from the background. I think once I had done all that, she kind of got lost in there a little bit, so thickening up her lines and refreshing the outer lines really freshened it up and let her pop out some more. So that's what I'm doing right here. I am sorry though I cut out a lot of the waterfall, guys. I guess I should have left a little bit more of that in there for you to see the process, but you'll be seeing more of this stuff from me. I had a lot of fun tackling a background traditionally, so you'll see other things and seeing me tackling new challenges. Let's see, and here I'm kind of going inside of it just a little bit to add some more thickness on the inside, because to match the outside of the line art, but I was focusing largely on the outer line art of her, so she'll stand out from the artwork more. It looks like right here I'm adding some more detail in the eyes, making them pop some more, because I think it got a little bit lost in the brown and the white paint I used for her eyes. One of my favorite things to do with traditional art too, you'll see that I added some splatters if you look closely. I love like splattering color around once I'm done, especially white. It just adds a nice little extra detail and some interest to the picture. I'm pretty sure I got the inspiration from that. I want to say I got it from like traditional like Japanese art. I feel like that's where I first saw that many years ago, and I really liked it. I might have been another traditional artist. I'm not quite sure, but I'm pretty sure a lot of like mangakas do that. Manga artists do that with their art. This little splatters of white. I just think it's really pretty, and it just gives it that kind of messy traditional look that I mentioned before that I like. Let's see, here I'm still adding a little bit more, some lines, very faint little details, just to bring out some more of the some more of her I guess features. And I guess here I felt like the cream of her belly kind of blended in a little bit too much, and it looked a little bit messy where the colors met, I think. And I thought that adding that little black, separation there helped it look a little bit more clean. So I did that in general, just touched her up a little bit until I was satisfied with the way that she popped out of the artwork. Here is the finished painting. I was very happy with the way that it turned out, and I'm so excited to do more because this one turned out so much better than I thought it would. Like, you guys know, I have no idea how ecstatic I was to see how it turned out, because I was very worried, to be honest. I think I'm worried with every painting I do. I'm just always terrified at the beginning, and then I end up fixing it or finding a way to make it work. So here is my completed first 500 drawing prompts art challenge, and I can't wait to do more. I mentioned it in a previous video, the other speed paint I've posted so far. I will put this in my Etsy shop if anyone would like it. So if you want to grab that, there's a link in my description, and I'll have it up in my Etsy shop shortly. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time in my next video.